Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. I'm Katya with Lunar Sun Creations and we are on part 4 of the Flowers and Feathers album tutorial. Today we are going to start to decorate. This is the super fun part where everything kind of comes together and shines. So I am going to be decorating my album the way we put it together. So I've got the 4 gussets on the left hand side, so it's going to open, and this was the very first page that we put together with a flap that comes down and those, and that comes up like that. So I'm going to decorate it in this order. You can totally, if you so desire, start it from the other direction. It's completely up to you. This is how I'm going to do it, so if you want to follow along exactly as I do, I will be using, as I mentioned, my own paper collection, the Flowers and Feathers paper collection, available in my Etsy shop. Shameless plug. And so I'm gonna figure out I'm gonna leave the front cover, or leave both the covers for now, and I'm gonna start right off with page 1. So I've kind of got some pieces cut, but I haven't got them all cut, so I'm going to kind of figure out what I'm going to put on here, and then I'll put a couple pieces on, so you don't have to just watch me put on every single piece of paper, and then we'll do any extra little bits together. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so the very first page, I've got this pretty, I'm kind of going with the purples and teals in the beginning. So I've already got this piece down, but I always like there to be something that indicates which way it pulls or opens. So I've cut out, from the cut aparts, I've cut out a whole bunch of the flowers and the feathers and stuff like that from the cut aparts. And I'm going to use this little matching flower. So I'm going to adhere it just part way onto the top of the that first flap there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of score tape. You could of course use wet adhesive as well, or instead of, whichever way you want to go. Okay, so just a little bit of score tape on the back there. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere it to the very top here. You just want a little bit kind of poking out there, just enough that you can kind of grab it. Okay, but then I don't want this little bit showing at the back, so I'm going to put the paper on here and then add another flower on top of that, just to kind of hide it. So let's put this piece of paper on, the lilac purple lace. Okay, so we're going to put this here. And then I've got a little border strip that I'm going to put right there to kind of tie in the teal that is on those 2 little flaps. Okay, and then I've got another flower that I'm going to put on the opposite side, just so it kind of covers up that little bit. This one you can adhere all the way down. Okay, so that can go here, just like that. I just realized it's not entirely centered because maybe I should have moved them both over. I don't like that it's not completely centered. Can I still move it over? I'm going to try moving it over just a smidge, just so it's centered. Which means I also have to move this one. that's better. So now you've got a little tiny pull tab just so it indicates that this piece pulls down. Then I've already got the pattern paper on these two pieces, but again I want to indicate that they open to the sides. So I'm going to use, so these are some kind of glitter flowers from Forever in Time. So I'm going to use this big, I think I'm going to use this one. So what I'm going to do is, there's self-adhesive, right? So I'm going to adhere it to one side, and then on the other side, because I don't want it to adhere to both of them, because then it'll close the piece. So I'm going to back it with a scrap piece that matches our page and cut it out. Okay, so now it's backed like that. So I'm just going to take my ink blender and just blend it a little bit, just so it's not such a stark white edge. And I did this with all of my pieces. I like inked the edges of all of them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere it to this side and kind of have it overlapping, and then when you open this up, you'll just see a little bit of that purple instead of just a white piece jutting out. Okay. Make sure there's no adhesive sticking out. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now that indicates that this opens, and then this one will open. You can put another flower down here as well if you so desire, but I'm just going to use the one, I think. I'm going to leave these two spaces open just for a photo. Okay, I've already got this piece down, but again, I'd like there to be an indication that it opens. I've got this pretty sheer teal ribbon, so I'm just going to cut a little piece of that. And put just a bit of score tape on the end of it. And fold it over to make kind of a loop, and then put some more score tape here, so you've got like a little loop there. I'm going to put some more score tape on it and then stick it to the underside of this piece. Okay, I'm going to try and center it. That's about center. Okay, so it's just on the back side there like that, and now we can put the paper on the back side here. So I've got this piece down there, and then to kind of carry it up, I'm just continuing with that color, and then I've got a purple border strip that I'm going to put up there. Okay, just like that. Awesome, so that closes down. These close like that. That closes like that. And page 1, complete. Now we'll move on to page 2 and 3. So on page 2 and 3, I've got a little bit more of the pinks going to be happening. And I used 1 sheet of coordinating cardstock in a green just to kind of bring out the color in some of the leaves of these pieces. So I'm going to put a couple pieces down, and then I'll come back and show you all the extra little bits and bobs that I'm going to do. Okay, so I'll show you what I have so far. So the base of this part here is just plain green cardstock. I've done a little pink ribbon pull right there. I wanted something flat and very maneuverable because it's going to kind of tuck into the pocket as this piece goes in. So this kind of tucks into the pocket as this piece goes into the pocket. So whatever you use as a pull tab for this will kind of like tuck into the pocket a little bit. Another thing that would have worked would have been, which I really wanted to use, was one of those little ring fasteners, but unfortunately I appear to not have any right now, so that wasn't an option. On the inside, got some of this beautiful border paper, and then carrying on the green, I want to kind of continue it throughout so it stays kind of cohesive. This is already down. This is the main backing, so like room for a couple big photos there. And I wanted this to be mirrored on the other side, so both of these are pretty much the same. They've got the 1 strip of green with this pattern paper and then a ribbon pull. So I don't have these ones on yet, so I'm going to put those on now. There's, well over 100 pieces of paper that are going into the decorating of this album. That's why I'm not doing it all on camera, because then it would be like a 10-hour video of just me literally cutting and doing this. So I put a lot of it on first, and then if you want to do it exactly like I am, you can just pause the video to kind of get a better look and see what it is I'm doing for each part. But you might not be using this paper collection. I hope you are, but if you're not, this album can be made with any paper collection. So I want it to be a creative process for you and have all the decisions be, yours. You can definitely do exactly what I'm doing, but I wanted to give you the freedom to not do that. Okay, so the piece that goes in the pocket, you want to make sure that it goes in at least like a ½ inch. All right, you don't want it to you don't want it to like stop right here where the pocket kind of begins, because then things can get stuck. So you always want it to be a little bit inside, tucked inside the pocket there. Just don't let it adhere until you've got it in the place you want it. Okay, so that's our page 2 on the kind of booklet thing. I haven't decorated anything on the inside. I just did this on the outside of it. So you can have the orientation going vertically or horizontally, whichever way you want to do it. You can also do pattern paper on the inside. I'm just gonna leave mine blank. It's like there's room for like 4 photos in there at least. You could also just do a border strip in the center and kind of like so you have very distinct areas for photos. I might end up doing that at the end. I also wanted to, I decided to add some metal embellishments. So I'm going to put this rose kind of right there, just kind of indicating that this pulls out. So I'm just going to use some wet adhesive. You can see over here that I've got a couple other metal pieces drying at the moment, because you know how impatient I am about things drying. I'm not patient is what I'm trying to say. I always try and move things far too quickly, and then they come undone, and oh goodness, it's just a mess. So I'm gonna put that on there, and then I'm gonna use a couple clamps. These should be, yeah, that should be dry now. So I'm gonna see if these reach in enough to kind of clamp it there. Got this really cute, these cat, I wanted to say safety pins, not a safety pin, it's a, wow, paper clip. Don't you hate it when the simple everyday words just won't come to you? Okay, I'm going to set this aside to let this piece dry, and then I'll move over to the next page here. So I've got just plain pink on the front, and then this should be dry now. Another metal embellishment glued down in between those two pieces, just to indicate that it opens. And I didn't feel like it needed to be covered on the back because it's quite pretty, so I didn't feel it needed to be covered up. The inside here, another green strip just to kind of tie it in. And then when it opens like that, more of that same pattern paper. And then on the inside, it was getting a little bit too just pink and green, so I wanted to add something a little more neutral. Left these blank again for photos. I might, what I'm thinking I might do with this, because it looks a little bit stark, is I've still got this piece here. So I think I might do some fussy cutting around this border and put this down but leave it open so it can be a little tuck spot or pocket. So I think that's kind of my plan at the moment. I don't want it to be all pink here, but I do want some of this. I might even just do one corner so you can tuck something into the corner. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just not going to do it at this exact moment because the fussy cutting takes me forever. So yeah, so that's that. And just wondering if I want one more metal piece here. No, I think it's okay. I don't think we really need another one. I think that's enough. At the end of making each album, I tend to go back through the whole thing and add any extra embellishments that I think it still needs. I always do like one last go through of the whole thing. So when you see the very finished album, there's usually a couple extra bits and bobs that I've added after you've seen this part. Okay, so that's good for that. Again, if you needed to pause or anything, there wasn't anything too fancy. I mean, most of these pages are going to be fairly simple. Like, I'm not doing anything super crazy on the decorating. It's pretty basic, but really pretty at the same time. So for pages 4 and 5, I am going with more of the pinks and lavenders together. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm going with. So I'm going to somewhat figure this all out. It's like almost like a jigsaw puzzle because I cut these out a few days ago, so I'm going to have to like try and re-jigsaw how this all went together. And I'll put some of it on and again come back to you when I've got an idea what I'm going to do. I know for sure that I do want to use this little dream catcher that I made. I'd like to use that somewhere in this part of the album. So I know I want to do that. And I have this super pretty lilac colored ribbon that I'd like to use somewhere. So that's all I know for sure. So I'm going to get things organized, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, so I'll show you what I've got down so far. Most of this is just sitting here just so I have it all organized and I know what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the pocket piece. I do have the paper on it already. I've got the inside blank, although I'm thinking I might go back into all the pocket pieces, like the inserts, and just at least put a little bit of like a stripe of pattern paper just to like show that it's like spots for 4 photos, something like that. And then I've cut that out and backed it. Breathe in confidence, breathe out fear. Yes. And that's gonna go on the insert on this far side. So I'm gonna put it in and then put this on so I know how far it needs to kind of stick out. Okay, and then this is also going to go onto the insert here. Wish I'd put this just a little bit further down. Can I still move it? No, it's down there. Okay, no worries. That's all right. And then on this part here, I've got on the inside, this is my plan here to have this piece cut so that it matches. I know that I'm not giving the measurements for the matting. The reason for this is that a lot of the times I'll do like little paper piecing, I'll put like strips of pieces. I mean, matting is really quite easy, so you can handle it. I mean, you're literally just taking the measurement of the piece that you want to mat, and then cutting a piece of pattern paper that is about a quarter inch less, both horizontally and vertically, so that you get a little bit of a like an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So I let you just do that on the inside here. This is what I have. Let me just pull this over a little bit so you can see. So purple in the center for photos, and then on either side I've got that. I have a purple piece ready for the inside here. However, I wanted to put the dream catcher on. So you don't have to do this at all. This was an extra little thing that I did. I will put the video for this. There is a tutorial on how I made this. I made one in blue as well. And I might use this one somewhere else in the album. So I did do a tutorial when I made these, and I will link it down below. So there they are. They're so pretty. Okay, so I'm literally just going to take a couple brads and just using the brads adhere it or attach it. Not because we're not really adhering anything, so attach it to this front bit, and the dangles will move around, but I'm okay with that. Alright, so I'm just going to take a pen or pencil or something and just mark where I want to cut a couple holes for this. So I'm going to move it right up to the top. I'm going to put one maybe in here. I'm just putting it kind of in the like wire mesh bits. Okay, and now I'm going to take a pair of scissors, your crocodile, your like anything you want, just to poke a couple little holes in there. The scissors might be a little overkill. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'll do it properly and I'll use the crocodile. So that's why I've left this open for now, because we're going to put the brads in, so we want to cover up the tines on the other side. So just using a couple little brads here. There's one. There we go. These tines didn't want to open. Okay, so there is our dream catcher there. Okay, perfect. So now I can put a piece of paper on the back of this. Okay, awesome. And then in here, got this really beautiful transparent-esque image. And then on the inside, got the purple in the pocket, and then on the inside, it is going to look like that. So I'll put these pieces on. Okay, and then the last one for this page. All right, there we go. So that closes up like that, and this goes in the pocket like that, and that page is done. And now we'll work on this one over here. Okay, and then on this side, I've got a dream catcher on the front there. Pull this down, and then I've taken this piece and I've cut with an X-Acto knife. I've just kind of cut along the image. Okay, I'm going to adhere it down here, making sure that there is no adhesive along that cut line. Okay, so just got adhesive around the edge, but not interfering with that cut line, and a little bit right there. And put this on, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, and then I've got one of these cut aparts, and now that we've left that part open, we can tuck this cut apart right into the image there. Okay, and then I've got the Dreamcatcher pattern paper there. I've got a couple of feathers that came from this pack that I bought. It is from Forever in Time, and it's a 29 piece of feather embellishments. You can also, you know, there's a lot of stamps and dies that you could use to cut them out. So I'm going to put one right there, and then I'm going to put a matching one on the other side. So I'm just going to adhere it to one side. So I'm just going to put like a strip of score tape just on the side there. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to kind of open this up so I know exactly where my score tape ends and put it right about there. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then when I open it up, I'm going to put the matching feather just on the other side there. Oh, you can't see that. Just on the other matching feather on the other side here. I'm leaving these blank again, but feel free to decorate them if you so desire. Completely up to you. And I'm gonna just do a little trim job just because they don't match up exactly because I'm putting the opposite sides together. I'm just gonna do a little. And then kind of do a little ink it a bit on the other side there. Okay, on this inside part I've got the pink lace, and then I haven't done the pattern paper up here yet because I would like to, oops, wrong way, Katya. I'd like to use, I have these little feather charms. So I'd like to use these as little swing tabs. I mean, it's already magnetized, so it doesn't really need it. I just felt like because I had some metal over on this side, I wanted to kind of balance it with a little bit of metal over here. So I'm just going to put these here and mark with my pencil where I want to put them. Okay, and then again, punch holes with my crocodile. Oh, I don't think my crocodile will reach in there, so I'll just use my little pokey tool. I know there's an actual name for this. It's not called a pokey tool. I just can't remember what it's actually called. Okay, and then using brads, I'm going to put those feathers in the page. And then I forgot to do it on this side, but you probably want to cover the tines with some score tape or something, just to help ensure that they will not come out. Forgot to do that on the other one. Okay, so I'm just going to put a piece of score tape over top of those tines on both sides, and then we can put our last bits of pattern paper on this page. Okay, so I'm putting this dream catcher and kind of continuing it right here. Try and line up the feathers as best I can. Okay, and then just some pale pink lace right there. Okay, fantastic. So that is that page. And then we can put these feathers over top here, just like that. And there we go. Perfect. All right, and now onto our final page for this side, and then we'll start going on the other side. So here I am going with teals and purples. Okay, so I'm gonna figure out my little puzzle here that I've created for myself, and then I will continue on. Okay, so last page on this side. I haven't stuck this on yet because I am going to figure out my closures still, so that's what I'm going to put there, but not yet. In the pocket. So I've got this pretty deer, and then on the inside I did put something on the inside of this one. These are just little strips of one of the alcohol ink backgrounds that I did, that I used in a lot of these images for the collection. I do have a video on me finger painting these alcohol ink pieces, if you want to check that out. Over here, this is what I've got planned so far. I'm going to put this on the pocket. Okay, and then when you open it up, got this beautiful image from the 12 by 12 right here, and then some of the purple paper that had the arrows. This same piece, but I think this was from the 8.5 by 11 one. So I printed everything out once in 12 by 12, once in 8.5 by 11. I have quite a bit left over, so you can definitely do a couple projects if you print it out like that. And then on the inside, the teal lace there, and then Just Breathe here. I don't know if I love that one little arrowhead just coming in. It just kind of looks odd. I wanted this, but this came down just a little bit too far, so I am going to do something to cover it up. I haven't quite decided. I've got these beautiful feathers that I have not yet used. I've got those flowers that I love, and then I've also got still a whole bunch of my cut aparts. So I'm gonna put something there. I just haven't decided exactly what yet, but for now I will put this piece. Okay, awesome. I think that's it for that one. Yes, awesome. And that goes in here like that. So yeah, I'm probably going to do a bit more embellishing on some of the pages, like I said, with some of the things that I just showed you. I just haven't decided exactly what yet. All right, so now on to the second half of the book.